السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. حياكم الله وبياكم. أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا. Welcome everyone. Bismillah. طيب. So here we are. We're going to start one of the vocabulary challenge. Sure, you must be thinking to yourself, Ustad, what do you mean day one? Didn't we start yet? Well, we actually did start yesterday, but yesterday, if you paid attention, the title was kickoff. Okay, so um, that's why we didn't really manage to go through all of the words and do what we wanted to do because it was kind of like a kickoff session. We had to talk about the actual challenge, what's involved, and the likes. But today, inshallah, we're going to go over the words and we are going to practice. And the practice assignments are ready. So again, I know that you all wanted to um, practice on the portal, which wasn't available, but alhamdulillah, now it is. Now the assignments on the portal are available. So the portal, like I said yesterday, you have an assignments course, you have a practice course, and you have a games. So you're gonna have access to all of them. Those of you that have joined so far already the portal, I'm gonna enroll you to those two extra courses, and those that haven't, I'm gonna share the links to each course separately on the WhatsApp community, so you can go straight to the portal and also a straight link to the placement test in case you need to do that. Okay, so alhamdulillah. How to access the portal again is pretty easy. I'm going to post the link on the community, the WhatsApp community, so please be patient. This is not the place to do that. Now, also, I advise you to add the portal or the link to the portal, add it to your home screen. You can do it on both Android and iPhone. Any website, you can add it as a link to your home screen. So that way you can just quickly click on the link, it will take you straight to the portal. You don't have to every time go back to your website or go to the channel or the WhatsApp group to find the link. Barakallah fikum. Okay. Another issue is someone's asking we do it on Google Meet or Zoom. Zoom doesn't really, it's quite costly to have high numbers, but we'll look into that. But normally I do my classes on Zoom, but this one is a bit different. Um, Another thing, a very important thing, which is that I've opened the WhatsApp groups. They're open, everybody can message. And regarding the WhatsApp groups, I do not post important information on the WhatsApp groups. Important information I posted on the announcement group, which means that you have one of two choices. Mute the group if you feel like it is distracting you, or leave the group. Okay? So I'm thinking to myself that there's no point trying to hold back those people that want to engage and ask questions and everything, because some people might feel overwhelmed. If you feel overwhelmed, leave the group. It's not mandatory for you to be on the group. If you want to engage, ask questions, and be part of the group, by all means, be part of the group. So that's the policy going forward. We are going to have moderators for each group, inshallah. The only thing that I want from you, as you've seen in the community guidelines, is number one, be respectful. Number two, stay on point. Okay? Do not go off topic. Anything to do with the class, that's it. And do not promote anything. Don't send any links. Don't promote anyone or anything without running past the admin, inshallah. Okay? Type. And people keep on saying the timing is too late. Barakallah fikum. I can only teach it one time. Okay? And if I make it earlier, it's going to be too early for those people in the UK or those in America. So I live in the Middle East. It's in the somewhere middle of the world, yes, which means that give or take is suitable for most people, right? But if it's too late for you, barakallah feek, you don't have to stay up for the live session. Go to sleep. Tomorrow you'll find the link to the recording. Watch the recording. The important thing is that the assignments and the exercise are open for you to do whenever you like. That's the important thing. Bismillah. All right, let's start. Like we said, we start off with level 1, then we go to level 2, and then level 3. Time is of the essence. So let me quickly start. So many things to share with you guys, so many things to cover. Allah al-Musta'an. But let's just get to learning, inshallah ta'ala, for now. And I'll cover the other things I need to mention later on. One last thing, which is quite important. I just want to apologize. to some of our sisters who might have taken um, an issue with something that I said in yesterday's class, which, to be honest, I'm not sugarcoating. I'm not saying a slip of the tongue. I did say a few times that even if you're a stay at home mom and you have time, then you can do these exercises. Now, obviously, you can look at it from an angle of maybe Ustad is biased. He thinks that stay at home moms don't do anything. Or from experience, I've been married for 14 years. I know that's not the case. Alhamdulillah. But what I meant by that, from the angle that I meant, and obviously sisters being busy or not, the stay-at-home moms is something that is relative. Some stay-at-home moms are more busier than others. But the point I was trying to make is that, for the angle that I was looking at it, is that stay-at-home moms, or they're stuck at home for the most part. They can't leave and do whatever they want to do outside. They're stuck at home a lot of times because they have to look after the kids. So if you're in a situation whereby that's the case and you're looking for something to do, and if you're not as relatively busy as others, then you can benefit from all the resources that we have. So make excuses for your brother, inshallah. I know that that might have touched a sore place, but it was not from the angle that you think it's from. As a married man for more than a decade, I know how much work stay-at-home moms do. As a matter of fact, they are my main target audience because they are the ones that are bringing up the next generation who is going to aid in the language shift, inshallah. I know that 100%. And there's a reason why they call a person's strongest language the mother tongue, because mothers play an important role in teaching their children a new language. طيب. Yallah, bismillah. That was a disclaimer that I had to make. Okay. Let me share the screen. Okay, so here we are on day one. The theme for this day, like we said, is personal identity. Now, before I do anything else, let me share with you the WooClap link. Bismillah. Join WooClap. Okay. Barakallah fikum. Join WooClap, inshallah. And let's talk about this. Bismillah. So, level one, we said we call them core words. Okay, core words. Level two is called curriculum words. Level three words are called dictionary words or supplementary words. So when it comes to the words that we have for level one, we have, barakallahu fikum, nouns and function words. And like I explained yesterday, Arabic, every word in the Arabic language can be one of three things. It's either a noun, which is a name or something or someone or some idea, is something, some kind of entity, or some kind of. In Arabic, nouns are much more general than in English. In English, nouns are just names. In English, you have nouns and then you have adjectives, right? They're two different things. Now, in Arabic, when we say ism, and we probably should be using the Arabic term, which is ism, yes, it is the opposite of verbs. So a noun is defined as something that names something, right, without it being connected to time. So when I say, for example, Muhammad, or I say lazy, or I say smart, or I say hot, or I say house, there is no tense connected to it. You can't say now or tomorrow or later. It doesn't give you the meaning of tense. Whereas verbs are words that give you the meaning of something happening at a specific time. Okay, either past tense, present tense, or future tense. We're not doing any verbs right now. We'll do that in the future days. Now we only have nouns. And we also have function words. Function words, like I said yesterday, in Arabic, they call them huruf. And function words, in my definition, the way we're using it, it includes some nouns as well, right? But the angle I'm looking at it is these words have specific grammatical functions. Okay, they're very small in number and they're very frequently used. Okay, so that's why the core words are mainly gonna consist of function words. Okay, not today, but the future days is gonna be a lot of function words. This time we only have a few function words compared to the nouns, but we are gonna focus a lot on these function words because they are the, like we said, the words that are in accordance with the Pareto principle. They are the 20% that give you 80% of the results. Right? So in terms of nouns, we have three categories: family, occupation, personal identity. That's what we have. Family, occupation, personal identity. Okay, this is to do with they want personal identity. So part of your personal identity, of course, is your family. Okay, you're either an abu someone, a father of someone, or you're an ibnu of someone, right? And your family, you are made of. You're basically you're your family basically. You're a product of your parents, and then you have your children. So that's the most important thing about personal identity. Then we have occupations, and then we have personal identity, as in these are. May I want to call them personal identity? I would call them. I mean, yeah, there are things connected to your personal identity, such as nationality or name or the likes. But the first list of words is we have family. In it, we have about 8 words that you need to remember. The first word is usra. And again, the purpose of this lesson is not that I go over every single word, give you the meaning of it. You have the flashcards for that, right? So here we have family, usra, which means family, yes, and then all of the different individuals that belong to the family, starting with the ab and the and the ibn and the akh and the ukht and the jad and the zawj. You'll learn the meanings of these things, inshallah ta'ala, when you start practicing. But the thing that I want to know is, I'm going to ask you a question, Wuklab, and I want you to realize this. These live sessions serve two purposes. Number one, I explain things that need explaining. Because, like I said, grammar and vocabulary is kind of connected. So, whatever grammar concepts that kind of help you to memorize these vocabulary, I'm going to teach you it. Number one. Number two, we go over, we go over, and um, we go over your mistakes and address what needs to be addressed. But that's not going to happen today, of course. So today's session is going to be a bit short because we're not going to address what the mistakes that you've made because you guys did not even submit any assignments yet. Okay, طيب. Um, طيب. So today we're gonna do level 2, level 1, and level 2. Level 3, guys. There's something I need to share with you guys, but let's start with you guys, inshallah. طيب. So we have طيب. We have a question of WooClap. So please, everybody, navigate to WooClap. I want you to answer this question. What do you notice when you look at these words? Okay, so let me show you the words I'm talking about. Okay, so here we have some words. And again, I am teaching this, barakallah fikum, assuming you're a complete beginner. That's what level 1 is for. So we have a word called ibn, which means son, ibna, daughter, jed, granddad, jeddah, grandma, zawj, husband, zawjah, wife. Now, if you've learned some Arabic before, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I just want you to focus on these words, look at them carefully, look at their pronunciation, look at their meaning, and then see if you can notice a pattern or not. So again, ibn, son, ibna, daughter, jed, granddad, jeddah, grandma, zawj, husband, zawjah, wife. What do you notice? Okay, so we have some answers here. Now there's this sharing the screen on here. I need to figure out how to share multiple screens, wallahi. Oh, so annoying. Type, let's go back to WooClap. Yeah. The ta at the end of the feminine words. Family connection. The female versions have a ta end, but I'm not sure. Well, mashallah, that shows me that you completely have figured this out by yourself. If you're not sure. Because if you did do some grammar, then you would have known that it's ta marbuta, since the fact that this student is saying that means you have a very sharp eye, mashallah. You noticed it. Feminine ta used for females. You've definitely learned grammar. Okay. So yeah, some have ta marbuta. Okay, that means you're halfway. You're halfway. You notice the ta marbuta, well done. But why does he have ta marbuta? So that's basically what we're trying to learn over here. Which again, like I said, something very important. Why? Because this will kind of slash the number of vocabulary you have to memorize by almost half. Yes, honestly, this is one of the most overlooked hacks, right? It's not overlooked really. I mean, most people they know it, but overlooked in terms of teaching it to beginners. Because a lot of people, when they teach to beginners, they teach these words separately. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to teach you these words separately. I'm going to teach you the masculine word and the feminine word. You have to figure out yourself how to do it by adding a ta marbuta. The only time when I will teach you, or I will include in the flashcards, a feminine word is if that feminine word is not the result of adding a ta marbuta to the masculine word. If it's actually different from the masculine word. Who can give me an example of that? Let me see if you guys understood what I mean. Go back to WooClub and give me an example of a feminine word you will need to memorize. Okay? That's the question on WooClub. Give me an example of a feminine word that you can't, what they call, conjugate, or you can't take it from the masculine word. You have to memorize it the way it is. Okay? Give me an example of that. Okay, Jahannam. Oh, okay, 1 minute, 1 minute. Do not give me. لا لحظة لحظة لحظة. لحظة لحظة. When we talk about masculine and feminine, barakallahu feek, you have words that are feminine or masculine in terms of grammatical. They call it grammatical gender. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actual female words that give the meaning of something being a female, as in from the female gender. Don't give me like things like sayyaratun or maktabatun. No. I'm talking about actual female words. So here we got one example. Ukht. Naam. Ahsant. Ukht is a very good example. But it's still, the ta is there. The ta is still there. It's just that it's not a ta marbuta, it's a ta maftuha, they call it. But I saw a better example that somebody gave, which is this one. Naam. Where's Naam. Has nothing to do with ab. We didn't take ab and then add a ta marbuta and say aba. La. Okay? So these kind of words, they will be part of the flashcards. Okay? They'll be part of the flashcards. Bint as well. Yes. Zoj and Zoja, no. Zoj and Zoja will not be included. You'll memorize Zoj as part of the flashcards, and Zoja you need to remember yourself. Why? Because Zoja is the feminine version of Zoj. All you need to do is add a ta marbuta. There's no need for you to memorize that using rote memorization. That is something that you practice. Again, this is one of the places where grammar and vocabulary, they intertwine, right? So those things that you memorize, we use spaced repetition, rote memorization. Those things that you need to understand, we use practice. So you're going to have exercises whereby you practice turning something from feminine to masculine by adding or removing a ta marbuta. Okay? But once you get the hang of it, that's it. No more need to memorize Zoj and Zoja separately. Jed and Jeddah separately. There's no need for that. طيب, ممتاز. So some of you got the hang of it. We're gonna see more of those words right now. Let's go back to our notes, and then we're gonna see more of those words that I'm talking about. So here we have, these are the ones that you noticed, but let's look at the full list of family members. Family members, of course, is gonna consist of some masculine members of the family, it's gonna consist of some male family members and some female family members. So let's look at this. We have ab, which is male. And which is female. Then we have ibn, under which comes ibna, which again I said is not going to be part of the vocabulary list. Why is not part of the vocabulary list? Because all you need to do is add a ta marbuta. Okay. So then we have akh and ukht are two separate ones. Then we have jad, under which comes jaddah. Okay. And then we have zoj, under which comes zoja. What are the meaning of these things? Well, ab, mother and father. Ibn means son. Ibna means daughter. Akh means brother. Ukht means sister. Jed means granddad. Jadda means grandma. Zoj means husband. Zoja means wife. And having said that, actually, no, there's an exception to the rule. Let me not mention it. That's not your level. I was going to mention a benefit, but let me not confuse you. Let's take what we have right now. But with that, we're done with family. Okay? We're done with family. Then we have occupations. Okay, these are some of the occupations, and as you can see, barakallahu feekum, we have talib, mudarris, muhandis, and rasul. Now rasul, yeah, it's an occupation. لا شك it's an occupation. It's one of the most, not one of the most, it is the most virtuous, noble occupation one can have, right? Which you can't even choose. Allah has to choose you for this occupation, right? So we have Talib, Mudarris, Muhandis, Rasul. Now, how do we make the feminine versions of these? What is the feminine version of Talib? Let me ask you in book lab. Um, what is the so if Talib means male student, right? And I want those that actually are total beginners who have never ever had the chance to do this. I want you guys to have a go. What is the how would we say? How would we say? Would we say female student? So if Talib means male student, that's what it means. How would you say female student? Those that have never ever done grammar before, who are just right now learning about this, give it a go. What do you think it would be? طالبة. أيوة طالبة with a ta مربوطة. Did I teach you that? As in, did I tell you? No, I didn't. How did you know? Because you followed the rule. That's the importance of learning some grammar rules with vocabulary because they'll make your life much easier. So طالب means male student, طالبة female student. واضح؟ مدرس male teacher, مدرسة female teacher. مهندس male engineer, مهندسة female engineer. رسول messenger, female ما في. Of course ما في. There are no female messengers or prophets as we know in Islam. طيب ممتاز. Okay. Then that means we're done with occupations. Let's go on to the last category before we do a little bit of grammar. Personal identity is actually pretty easy. We have jinsiyah, deen, and ism. And all of these are actually there on in Arabi Bain Yadayk. These are just the ones that I chose for the core. Jinsiyah, deen, and ism. Now, the very first one you'll find in the very first dialogue of Bain Yadayk is ism. Ism means name. Jinsiyah means nationality, and deen means religion. So these are things that define you really. Your name, your nationality, and your religion. صح؟ طيب. How would you say my religion? My name? My nationality? Huh? How would you say those things in Arabic? Okay, let's say Ana means I. How would you say my name? Would you say Ana ism? How would you say my religion? Would you say Ana Deen Islam? Huh? Deen Ana Islam? Naam. So those of you that know it, mashallah, tabarakallah, you add a ya at the end. You add a ya at the end. So this is something that is related to grammar, right? We're going to cover that in more detail later. Okay, but for now, I just want you to remember that and I want to teach you that. Why don't I want to teach you that right now? Because that will allow you to make some basic sentences. Very easy sentences. Like Ismi Muhammad. Jinsiyati Hollandiya. Dini al-Islam. Abi Abdul Wali. Ummi Halima. Akhi Yusuf. Wa ukhti Amal. And so on and so forth. So now, with just knowing how to say my, you can make those simple sentences. You can already make, mashallah, 20, 30, 40, 50 sentences if you memorize day one's vocabulary. And that's one of the things as well we're going to benefit from this particular course, which is even though we're not going to teach grammar in a theoretical way, I am going to share with you some very simple, easy sentence templates that you can use to make thousands of sentences with the few words that you've learned. Okay, that's one template sentence I've shared with you so far, and I'm going to share more of them with you in the channel, inshallah, and in coming lessons. Okay, so add a ya at the end, ismi, and then just mention whatever that value is. Ismi Muhammad, Dini al-Islam, Jinsiyati, and so on and so forth. You can use that for anything. So that way you can ascribe anything to yourself. Anything that is connected to you, say it, add a ya at the end, and name it. Okay? So, مثلا, you can also say, you can point at it as well. You can say, for example, هذا قلمي, this is my pen. هذا أبي, this is my father, and so on and so forth. Type. These are the words. Now I need to wrap up. Level 2 guys are joining us, I think. At least they should, according to the schedule. So the quick thing we're going to do right now is um, cover a bit of the grammar things. Cover what? A bit of the grammar things that are related to this. Sorry, the function words. Sorry, cover some of the function words. Now, the function words that we're going to do are pretty easy. We're going to do personal pronouns. I'm sure most of you know what they are. I'll mention them actually at the end. The first thing I want to mention is the question word, actually. Question word and demonstrative, because together you can use them together to ask a question. So, what's the demonstrative or the question word? Now, question word is a word you use to ask a question, obviously. And the one we're going to learn this week is men. Men. Men means who? Men means what? Who. So, since we're talking about personal identity, it makes sense to learn the word men. Because now you can ask, you can say men hada, which brings us to the next set of words, which are hada and hadihi, which is when you're pointing at something, you use these words. So now we have another template sentence. Let me write down these template sentences for you. Okay? We have template sentences. Let's call them easy template sentences, actually, because that's what they are. Okay? So the first one we had was, I'm just going to write an example for you. Okay? And you can use whatever else you like. So, Ismi Muhammad. Another template sentence is how to ask who someone is. You would say men hada. So now you have joined, you've added what? You have added the men, which means who, and the hada, which means this. So basically, men hada means who is this. Okay. Now I'm going to give you an important grammar concept. I'm going to teach you a very important grammar concept, which you just have to take for face value at the moment. I'm going to explain later why that's the case. But in the Arabic language, we don't have the verb is. We don't use the verb is. So for example, Ismi Muhammad means my name is Muhammad. So the verb is, or any of its brothers or sisters, such as be, from to be, such as I am or we are, any of these words, Arabic doesn't have it. That's why Ismi Muhammad means my name is Muhammad. Hada Muhammad means this is Muhammad. Even though we only have two words. In English, we have three words. This is Muhammad. In Arabic, we only have two words. This, Muhammad. This kind of now, it's going to make sense to you why Arabs speak like that, by the way. If you ever wondered to yourself, if you ever wondered, why when Arabs speak, they say something like, you, my friend. Why don't they say, you are my friend? Why do they speak, when they speak, why do they say, this Muhammad and this Khalid? Why don't they say, this is? Huh? It's because their language doesn't have it. واضح? So it makes sense that they say that. واضح? So, Ismi Muhammad and Man Hada. We have two template sentences so far. So, Hada is the masculine form, Hadihi is the feminine form. Okay, so it's not just adding a ta marbut. You have to remember these things. That's why we added them to the words you have to memorize. The final list of words before we finish are the personal pronouns. The personal pronouns. And these I'm going to talk about in more detail next lesson. I think right now I'm just going to give you what they mean. Okay. Without explaining them, actually. Yeah, I'm not going to explain the grammar behind it, but we have 5 personal pronouns, which are basically the words that you use to refer to someone that has previously been mentioned. Okay. So, or someone that's in your mind. How would you talk right now about your father or your mother who are not with you right now? How would you talk about them? What would you say? Okay. If they're not with you, or if you're talking about them, what would you say? You'd say huwa, you'd say hiya. Or your son, you say huwa or hiya. Okay? Anta and anti is the person you're actually talking to. It's called the second person, the person you're addressing. And ana means I. So anyway, these words, wallahi, they don't need explaining. Why? Because you already have them in English and they're common sense. Ana, I. Anta, you. Anti, you, but for females. Huwa, he. Hiya, she. So whichever way you would use them in English, use them in Arabic as well. I can go into detail about how it works in first person and second person and the fact there's isolated pronouns, but this is not the case. This is not the place for it. We'll do that inshallah in the grammar challenge. Okay? So with that, we have covered, alhamdulillah, all of the words. Some of the grammar concepts you need to remember is what? Add a ta marbuta to make it feminine. Another one is add a ya to say my. Add ya to say my. And these are some of the template sentences that we have. Ismi Muhammad, man hada. And of course, you can do more. You can say hada, hada abi. Let's use another word. Let's say hada akhi. Another template sentence. The way I've told you, add a ya to ascribe it to yourself. Hada is to point it out. Hada akhi, this is my brother. See another template sentence, mashallah. Make it feminine if you like. هذه أختي. Doesn't matter. من هذا, make it feminine. من هذه. Okay, and so on and so forth. So these easy template sentences, I'll give you a small list of them, inshallah, and they will be part of the practice you're going to do on the portal, inshallah ta'ala, when you are practicing these words. That's what I have to share with you guys today for level 1. We're going to go on to level 2, inshallah, and I'm actually shocked, quite shocked that I actually managed to make it in time. I mean, yeah, I did spend 30 minutes on level 1, right? Alhamdulillah, I didn't go over time, which alhamdulillah is quite an achievement for myself. May Allah make it easy to stick like that, okay? So this is for level 1. Now we're going to go to level 2. You want to stick around level 2? Ahlan wa sahlan. No problem, you can do so, okay? I know we haven't had enough time to do a lot of practice on WooClap. I was hoping to do so, but just because the first day we're doing the lessons, there's a lot of explanation to be done. And inshallah ta'ala, tomorrow, after you guys practice and you do your assignments and everything, there's going to be a lot of common mistakes that we can use for the basis of practicing and making sure that your understanding is better. The purpose of the live class is fahm, understanding, not memorization. Memorization is where you do exercises. As long as you understood the words or you understood the idea or the how these words are categorized, then that is enough for today, inshallah ta'ala. Does man have feminine? Naam. Rajul and imra'ah, but they're not taken from. You have mar and mar'ah as well. Mar and mar'ah. But that's for another day. These are the words you'll find in the level 2 or level 3, inshallah. Okay, regarding the portal, like I said, the practices flashcards are ready. If you already signed up for the portal, you can go there right away. Another thing as well is please join the Quizlet classroom. Please join the Quizlet classroom. I'm going to share the link with you right now. If Mahat can share the link, please. Please share the Quizlet classroom links with them. Yes, he's posted it here. Okay, let me share that with you guys. There you go. Click on that link. It's going to take you to the Quizlet classroom, which means you'll have access to all of the flashcards if you want to use the Quizlet app. If you don't want to use the app, don't worry, it's also on the portal. But sometimes when you're on the move, some brothers, they said to me, it's much better to use the app, the Quizlet app. Okay? Link not valid. All right, I'm going to have to look into that. No, it will be shared on the community as well, inshallah. Oh, yeah, link is not valid, maybe because I shared. Yeah, sorry. Because I copied the whole thing, that's why. Let me just copy the link instead of the including level 1. It kind of got stuck together. So that's the Quizlet for level 1. I'm going to share the Quizlet for level 2. And I start teaching level 2, inshallah. Okay, so that's the link. Try that now, inshallah. Okay, that's the link. So you want to copy it over. Okay, طيب. Level 2, أهلا وسهلا, welcome. Bismillah. Let's go back to Ramno. Level 2. Bismillah. Okay, now you guys that are joining us for level 2, barakallah feekum. Everything we've done in level 1 is included in the words for level 2. واضح? That's one thing that you need to know. Okay, so everything we've done in level 1 is also included in level 2. I'm just segregating it, level 1 and level 2, assuming that this is something easy for you, you've done it already, and I don't want to waste your time on it. That's the only reason. واضح? Okay, that's the only reason. طيب. Okay, so nouns, we have the same categories, roughly the same categories as level 1. The only difference being that we also have another category called country. I didn't add that to the core words, right? Why did I not add countries to core words? Because Countries are proper nouns, they are names of things, right? And even if you don't translate them to Arabic, people will know what you're talking about. So if I say, for example, Ana min the United Kingdom, all right, or Ana min Britain, you know, then there's a good chance that the person will know what I'm talking about. If I say, for example, Ana min Somalia, yes, okay, in Arabic it's as-Somal, it's not Somalia, but still, the person I'm talking to will understand what country I'm talking about. So that's why I didn't add it to the core words. So we have personal identity, the exact same three words, jinsiyya, din, and ism. Okay, no need to explain it. Then we have family. The family, we have the main ones that we've covered earlier. We also have some extra ones, okay, which are part of the curriculum. Okay, let me talk about them. We have ahl. What's ahl? Ahl is a synonym for usra, as in they're related. Now, does that mean they're the exact same? No. As a matter of fact, it's highly unlikely for you to find a word in Arabic, two words in Arabic that are the exact same. You're not going to find that. Very difficult to find. As a matter of fact, there are books. Okay, there's a book called Al Furuq Al Lughawiyya. Okay, which this book is dedicated to taking two words that people think are the same, two Arabic words that people think are the same, but then telling you the subtle differences between the two. Very beautiful books, very, very enjoyable books. Okay. Um, so Usra and Ahl are different in ways, but they can also be considered synonyms, as in they are words that are very much related to each other. Okay. Type. Then we have Ab and We've done that with level one, but you also should learn about Walid. Walid. So Walid and Ab mean the same thing. They both mean father. But what's the difference? The difference is that it's the difference between father and dad, really. You know, father is like, okay, you're from his progeny. He is the one who's done the act of, you know, or walada, which means to give birth or to have a child. He's the walid. He's the person who did that, and you're the walad. You're the result of that, right? But ab has more a connection feeling to it, like a dad. Like they say, everyone is a father, but not everyone is a dad, right? So that's ab and Ab and have this more connection to it, you know? Whereas walid and walida is more technical, like they're the ones that gave birth to you. Okay? That's one thing. Those are few subtle differences, but nevertheless, you can consider ab and walid to be synonyms for all means, for all important means and purposes. Type. Then we have ibn, ibn, which means son. Then we have walad. Walad is also used as son. But walad is also used as boy as well. Sometimes people they say boy, they call walad. Okay? But if you say ana walad Ahmed, that means I'm Ahmed's son, then that would also mean son. So walad could sometimes mean son, um, but it's also used as boy. All right. Whereas ibn has more of a meaning of being son. So Muhammad ibn Abdul Wali, Fulan ibn Fulan. Then we have tifl. Tifl means child, and we also have am. Am. Now am is paternal uncle. Now how about maternal uncle? Like how about the uncle from your mother's side? So am is the uncle from your father's side. How about the am from your mother's side? In English, obviously, they're both uncles. They distinguish it by saying paternal and maternal. But in Arabic, they're two different words. And I'm sure a lot of you have in your native tongues, if you have, if you're from another, if you're ethnically, if you have another ethnic background as well, especially a Muslim background, I'm sure that your language also differentiates between the two. Okay, so in Somali we say Adair and Abti, two different things, right? So Am would be the uncle from your father's side. From your mother's side, we call him Khal. But I haven't added it here. Why? Because this is one of those dictionary words which we're going to use for level 3 because it's not part of Beni Yadayk. Okay, we decided that level 2, we're going to stick to the Beni Daik words. If you've studied it before, alhamdulillah. If not, then it's a good opportunity for you to learn the words in Beni Daik, perfect them, learn them, and then we're going to expand on them later on, inshallah, in level 3. Okay? Um, طيب. So we have am. Okay? Now, what is the feminine version of am? Let's go to WooClap. If you guys are just joining us for level 2, sorry. Please, if someone can repost the WooClap link so that they can answer. What is the feminine version of am? Uncle. In Arabic, of course. Someone please repost the WooClap link. I can do that myself. There you go. Okay. Quizlet is free, by the way. The Quizlet app is actually completely free. Just keep that in mind. Okay. So what's the answer? Let me share the other screen actually. What have you guys said? Okay, we have amma. Yes, ahsant. Amma. Amma. How do we come up with that? Very simple. We add a ta marbota. Don't say ammati. Ammati means my auntie. I didn't say what's the feminine version of ammi. I didn't say that. I said am. Okay. So that's something we've done earlier with level 2, if you're just joining us, which is we talked about how you can take a word, any word in Arabic that is masculine, and for the most part, you can add a ta marbota to make it feminine. That's not always the case, but it is most of the time that's the case. So for all of these words we've done so far, a lot of them also have feminine versions. Amma, tifla. Tifla is a female child. Tifl, male child. Tifla, female child. Like a girl, basically, small girl. Okay, walid means father. Walida means what? Mother. Walad, you can't say walada for daughter or for girl. La walada, we don't say walada. Walad is for both boys and girls. That's why in the Quran, many places in the Quran, Allah uses the word walad. Why? Because walad includes both genders. واضح? Whereas if you say ibn or abna, it doesn't include both genders. Again, one of the differences between what? Ibn and walad. Okay? ممتاز. Okay. Then we have occupations. We've done for level 1, طالب, مدرس, مهندس, and Rasul. We said Rasul is one of the best occupation you can have, of course, but we can't have it. Allah has to choose you for that. Then we have as well ضابط, صيدلي, موظف, أستاذ, طيار, ممرض, معلم. طيب, معلم is a synonym of مدرس. Again, means the same thing roughly. Okay. Ustad, I know a lot of people they use Ustad, but in modern day Arabic, the way they use it technically speaking, Ustad is used for professor. They call it a person who teaches as a professor, not just any professor actually. It's the highest level of being a professor at the university. It's called Ustad. So you go from associate professor to Ustad and so on and so forth. That's what they use for Ustad actually, university professors. But nevertheless, people they use it, more loosely as well. صيدلي, موظف, أستاذ, طيار, ممرض. Now, all of these, like we said, especially occupations, all of them are masculine words, and you can make them feminine by adding a ta marbota. Okay? But sometimes you can't. You can't always do that. But you can for the most part. أستاذة is for female. طيارة, ممرضة, معلمة. Okay, and so on and so forth. The only issue is صيدلية is a problem. Because صيدلية also means pharmacy. Okay? طيب. ممتاز. That's to do with occupations. Then we said country that we didn't have earlier. We have these countries over here. Again, you don't have to memorize them. Okay, but it's good to know them in Arabic. So Masr, if you haven't never heard of it before, it means Egypt. Al Hind. I mean, some of these country names, you'll notice that they're very close to the actual pronunciation of how the country name is meant to be in its native tongue. So Al Hind sounds a bit close to India. Turkey doesn't need any. And then there are some words actually that I'm probably not even going to add to the flashcards. I wouldn't add Turkey. I wouldn't add Pakistan. You know, it's just the P they turn into a ba, Pakistan. There's no point. But there are some words you should actually know in Arabic, especially when they're very much different. Tunus, maybe there's a difference there with Tunisia. As-Sin meaning China, there's a difference there. Al-Iraq, there's no need to learn Al-Iraq. Syria, there's no need to learn Syria. Especially the Arabic countries, there's no need to learn them because if you know them in English, you know them in Arabic. Al-Yemen means Yemen. Bangladesh, it's not even Arabic, it's not even Arabized, if you like. There's no need to learn it. So really, we find here 4 countries that Benedict has mentioned that perhaps you will have to practice a bit. Al-Hind, Misr, Tunis, and As-Sin. Now, obviously, you can learn the country, the name of the country, the name of your country as well. So, Britannia or Ingilterra or America or whatever other country you're from, I would advise you to learn it so that if people ask you where you're from, you can easily answer that question. Now, there's something else I want you to notice, which is quite important, which is that these country names, Allah yahfadak, Allah yahfadkum jami'an, not all of them have alif lam. Some of them do and some of them don't. So Al-Hind starts with an L, but Misr doesn't. Now, a lot of people, they make this mistake. They think that because country names are proper nouns, they feel the need to add an alif lam in front of it. So they'll say to you, for example, أنا من المصر. لا هذا خطأ. That's wrong. Don't say أنا من المصر. Misr doesn't come with alif lam. Okay? Or they'll say something like أنا من تونس. لا. Okay? So if the country name comes with an alif lam, then that's the way it is. You cannot remove the alif lam. It comes with it. It's part and parcel. If it doesn't, then don't add it. So for example, Al-Iraq. Al-Iraq, it comes with an alif lam. Don't say Iraq. Don't say Iraq. لا, Al-Iraq. أنا من العراق. Don't say أنا من Iraq. Same thing with Yemen. Don't say أنا من Yemen. لا. أنا من اليمن with the alif lam. So this is the thing about country names, which is if it comes with an alif lam when you're memorizing it, keep it all the way. If it doesn't, do not add it. And this does not only apply to country names, it also applies to other proper nouns such as city names. So a lot of people, what the mistake they make is what? When is level 3? Level 3 will start in about 10 minutes, inshallah. Okay? We just start the stream like maybe 5 or 8 minutes late. So level 3 will start a bit later as well. Type. So we have, barakallah fikum, what are we saying? We have what? City names as well. Like Mecca. A lot of people, they say Al-Mecca or Min al-Mecca. أنا أذهب إلى المكة. لا. Wrong. أنا أذهب إلى مكة. Don't add alif lam. Same thing when it comes to Medina. A lot of people, they say Medina like that. أنا أذهب إلى مدينة. أنا أسكن في مدينة. لا يا أخي, this is wrong. Why? Because Al-Madinah, that's the name of the city of the Prophet Muhammad Al-Madinah. So you have to say أنا من المدينة. أنا أسافر إلى المدينة. If you say أنا أسافر إلى مدينة without using the alif lam, which the name comes with, then it's going to translate to I am traveling to a city, any city. So if I'm leaving Medina going to Mecca, I can technically say أنا أسافر إلى مدينة. I'm traveling to a city. I'm actually leaving Al-Madinah. I'm on my way out. Someone says to me, إلى أين أنت ذاهب? Where are you going? إلى أين أنت مسافر? أنا أسافر إلى مدينة. He's going to say to me, okay, that's fine. If he knows Arabic, صح? If he doesn't know Arabic, he's going to say to me, you're crazy. كيف تسافر إلى مدينة? You're leaving Medina right now. No, I'm not leaving Medina. I'm leaving Al-Madinah. And I'm traveling to a city. I haven't told you what name it is, but I'm going to a city. So that's a difference. Al Medina is the city of the Prophet Muhammad. Medina means any city. Medina means any city. Of course, sometimes that word Medina, which means city, it might come with alif lam without you meaning the Prophet's city. That's possible, but that depends on the context. So, for example, Allah says in the Quran, وَجَاءَ رَجُلٌ مِّنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ. A man came from the furthest part of the city. It's not the Prophet's city. La. It's talking about the city that Musa was in, of course. So sometimes Al Medina, it could mean the Prophet's city, it could be the city, as in the city you're talking about. This is determined by what? By context. Determined by context. Type. That's when it comes to countries. We're done with that. Alhamdulillah. In terms of grammar, really, again, there's not a grammar course. صح? But if there is one grammar thing I'd like you to remember is what? Is the importance of agreement, number one. Okay, agreement being that these nouns that could be masculine or feminine, yes, coupled with the function words that we've done for level one that you should know as someone who does level two, which is the personal pronouns and what have you, they have to agree. They have to be in agreement with each other. As in, if you say hada, then the noun you're using has to be masculine. If you say hiya, it has to be feminine, and so on and so forth. So just pay attention to that because that's what people struggle with the most, which is agreement. Okay? We might do some agreement practice, inshallah, if you get a chance. Another point is mudaf ilayh. Okay, which is that when we talk about country, when we talk about occupation, okay, um, we talk about these things, then you want to ascribe that to yourself, right? So we talked about that as well earlier. When you want to say, for example, my father, you would say abi. صح? So that's when we have what we call mudaf ilayh, right? Which is you ascribe something to someone. Yes. So you would say, for example, any of these things that we talked about, personal identity, you would say jinsiyati, dini, ismi. Okay. Now, if you're talking about someone else, you'd say ismuka, ismuki. Or that's if you're talking to someone else, sorry. But if you're talking about someone else, you would say ismuhu or ismuha. Okay. So these are the personal pronouns when they join to the noun. That's something you should have learned at level two. Pay attention to that because with it, you can make a lot of sentences. And we mentioned earlier, when it comes to level two, said that, or level one, so we're teaching level one, we said that there's a lot of template sentences that you can use to make, to literally make thousands of sentences with just the words you've learned so far. As long as you have a vocabulary bank and some grammar rules. Mix them together, you've got sentences. Okay, so you can say jinsiyati Somaliya, dini al-Islam. You can say to someone ma dinuka, what's your religion? You can say to someone masmuka, what's your name? You can say to someone ma mihnatuka, ma mihnatuka, which means what's your occupation? Okay, probably should have added that word as well, mihna. It's part of occupation. That's the actual meaning of occupation. So these actual, we call them hypernyms, are the actual meanings of each category. You also should know those as well, by the way, at level two and level three. Level one, guys, I'll let them off. Right, so usra, mihna, country means what? Balad, okay? And so on and so forth. عرفت؟ طيب, let's see what we can practice with. Um, Now, you'll find the practice activities on the portal. They're there. Let me show you quickly what we have. Plus, I want you to go to Quizlet. I'm going to share the Quizlet link with you as well. We're actually done with the explanation. The course segment is still locked. Yeah, the assignment. I explained yesterday that the one you enrolled to now is the assignment. That one is locked. That will be unlocked tomorrow. But right now, the one that you will have access to, or you should have access to, I'm going to give all of you access to the moment the session is over, is the practice course. Okay, let me show you the practice course. لحظة, which is the one that has all of the different exercises. Okay. Bismillah. Where did it go? وين راح؟ It's open. I don't know where it went. Flashcards level 1. Okay. Oh, it's actually this screen. Okay, can you see this? That's basically what you have access to. Vocabulary challenge practice. So we have flashcards for level 1, and then we have learning mode for level 1 as well. So flashcards, you just flip through them. Um, make sure you know everything. Okay. I would advise you to go to options and select um, card sorting. Yeah. Enable card sorting. So I'd advise you with. And make sure answer with is always Arabic. Okay. Then what's going to happen is that it is going to give you a I know or still learning option. So you can go through it, and then the ones that you get wrong is going to ask you again. That's the best way to kind of expose yourself to all of the words quickly. And here you can see how many words you've done, how many are left. This is the first step I would advise you with. So we have flashcards for level 1, and we have flashcards for level 2, and we have flashcards for level 3. There's going to be flashcards for level 3 as well. Okay. Now, these flashcards, barakallah fikum, is to just go over all of the words, right? After you're done with that, and like I said, level 2 includes level 1, by the way, so don't bother. You don't need to do level 1 and level 2. Level 2 is going to be about 50 words. It's going to include level 1 words and the extra level 2 words. Same thing goes for level 3. Then you go to learning mode. Learning mode is where you actually get to practice. It's going to ask you questions and what have you. And I explained to you yesterday what settings to go for. I might clip that video out and share it with you, inshallah. Okay. As a matter of fact, you can also actually just don't turn on flashcards. We already done flashcards separately. Okay. Um, for level 2, you'll also find plural writing exercise, where simply you have ummahat and you write the singular, or it can be the opposite as well. You have the singular and you write the. You can choose here to either answer with the term or the definition. It's up to you. You can either say, okay, if you say definition, that means, okay, give me the singular. I'm going to answer with what? The plural. Ibn, what's
أبناء.
the plural of ibn? Abna. You type it. Make sure you get your Arabic T keyboard or use Yemli and you type it. Okay? And then it's going to give you an answer. Synonyms, you play match. You match the synonyms with each other. Khal is similar to what? I would say am. Okay, they're kind of synonyms. I know they're not the exact same, but they are what? Kind of related to each other. Talib, huh? Tilmid. Mudir, it's the same as what? I mean, these are not synonyms. These are actually almost opposites, if you like. All right, so something needs to be looked at. Okay, وهكذا. All right, and then you got opposites as well. Opposite match. Match with the opposites. Opposite of akh is ukht, and so on and so forth. Okay, that's basically all the exercises that you have access to right now, inshallah. طيب, واضح? On what? Yes, it's a different course you should be enrolled in. I'm going to enroll you to it, like I said at the end of the session. I'm going to enroll everyone to the vocabulary challenge practice course. Everyone. Doesn't matter what level you're on. And I'm going to enroll everyone to the vocabulary challenge games course. So those doesn't matter what level you're on, because it's there. You can see the level. Do whatever level is suitable for you. If you are doing level 2 but you're struggling with it, you want to go back to level 1, it's up to you. All right, it's up to you. Work your way up. ما في مشكلة. Start from here and continue. It's up to you. Okay? That everyone will have access to that, inshallah. Can we sign up for 2 levels at the same time? No, look. Barakallah fikum. Oh. Sign up for 1 level. Why? Because, like I said, The practice course, the portal where you have all the practice, and the portal where you have all of the games. It doesn't matter which level. You have access to everything. But those courses that are segregated as level 1, level 2, and level 3, I segregated them because the assignments and the quizzes and the certificates are connected to those. So you don't want to be doing homework for level 2 and level 3 at the same time. It's going to be overwhelm you. You want to practice level 2 stuff, level 1 stuff, level 3 stuff. You're open to do so on the practice course. But when it comes to assignments, quizzes, things that you have to do in order to pass this challenge and get your certificate, then only do one level. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem. واضح? Where will the practice course link be shared? It will be shared on the community, WhatsApp community. I have some news for you, by the way, which is the WhatsApp community is full. The limit was 2,000, right? I added all of the groups to the community. There are 4 groups I can't even add yet. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I would say that those of you who are still on the groups, who are not interested in the course anymore, or that can't make it or whatever, please leave. Please leave and make space for others. Okay? And those that are on it, make sure you make use of the opportunity. I'm not really fond of opening another community because it's added overhead and added headache. Type. I'm going to start with level 3 now. Do you remove content after the passage of a day? No, I don't. It will be available. But you should do your assignments on time. The assignments have a deadline. Okay? If you want to make it to the end of the challenge and get your access to your Upskill Arabic lifetime subscription, then you have to do the assignments on time. Okay? Those are there. You'll see the deadline and everything, and I'll share more details in the channel and in the community. Type. Please let me know how to change level. Okay, look. You want to change level? It's easy. I'm going to show you. Hope I can. Actually, not now. I'm going to record the video for all of you. I'm going to post it on the channel. Now it's lesson time. I'm going to show you how to change level. All you need to do is you go on the portal, you unenroll from this course, you enroll to the other levels course. All the levels are available to everyone. Unenroll and enroll to the one that you want. Okay, but make sure you do that quickly, because if you do it late, you would have missed some assignments. Profile editing. I'll look into that, inshallah. I'll look into that. Someone please take note of that question. Level 3, guys. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome. If you want to stick, level 2, guys, you can stick around, inshallah. Level 3 students. Allah yahfadkum wa yabarak fikum. I have some news to share with you guys. Bismillah. Let me go back to Ramnote actually. Okay. So we're done with level 2. Inshallah, tomorrow we'll go over some of the common mistakes and so on and so forth. Right now, we're going to start level 3. So level 3, I have for you some supplementary words. Okay. And these will be on the portal as well for you by tomorrow. Or by tomorrow actually. But the thing is that the dictionary words are not done yet. Why are the dictionary words not done? Well, the dictionary words, they're 95% there, but we had some delays. The reason we had a delay, I'm going to be transparent with you. I'm going to tell you why. It's because we have 2 members of the team, one of the main members in the team, and another, actually 2 very important members of the team who live in Egypt, right? And unfortunately, they're going through a situation now whereby those who live in Egypt, the electricity gets cut 2 hours every day. Sah? So, and it's because of what's ongoing in Gaza at the moment. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alleviate the affairs of our brothers and sisters there. And I advise you all to donate, by the way, using the link sent in the channel. And I tweeted about it as well. The King Salman initiative, which is an initiative from King Salman, whereby everyone can donate, and it is very transparent, alhamdulillah, one of the most trustworthy channels you can donate to. I advise you all to donate. Last time I checked, it had like almost 70 million in a few hours. It's probably over 100 million by now people have donated, so don't miss that boat. Point is, because of that which is happening in Gaza, I think the electricity, I think some of it comes from Israel or something like that. So the country is going through a situation whereby electricity is not that reliable as normal, which means that we had issues with getting the work done in time because I rely on those members of the team. So that's why. That's why the dictionary words are not done. Well, dictionary words, like I said, I do have most of them ready. We can use them, but I can't. They're not ready yet to be uploaded, right? So we are going to practice with some of the dictionary words right now while we are doing what um, our exercises. But you'll have all of them ready, inshallah ta'ala, soon. So supplementary. So there's two types of words that you learn level three, guys. Number one is actually the more important ones are dictionary words. The dictionary words, like I said, are words that you either have a verb from which you can take what? A verbal noun. Okay? I'll tell you what that means in Arabic in a moment. Called masdar. Okay, now what's the difference between a masdar and a fi'l? Who knows? A verbal noun, fi'l to masdar. Okay, so or either way, or I might give you the masdar and you come with the fi'l, whichever way it may be. Question on WooClap is, if you haven't joined WooClap, by the way, someone please repost the link. Barakallah feekum, so that level three guys can join WooClap as well. Actually, I can do that myself again. I've got this clipboard manager, so I'm probably quicker than most of you when it comes to posting links again. If you have not discovered yet a clipboard manager and you use your laptop a lot, I feel for you. I feel for you. طيب. The question is, barakallah feekum on WooClap, what? أنا type in Arabic actually. You guys marshal level 3. ما الفرق بين الفعل والمصدر? You can answer in English if you like, but the question is in Arabic. ما الفرق بين الفعل والمصدر؟ ما الفرق بين الفعل والمصدر؟ Okay, if you want to tell me the farq, also tell me what they have in common, by the way. Tell me what they have in common as well. Okay, so why is masdar different from all other nouns? Masdar هو الأصل. لا لا لا, scholars have differed on that. There's big differing in that. Is the masdar the asl or the verb? That's Allahu Alam, right? But the point is, verb and verbal noun. Yeah, I know that's in English. I get that. I mean, نعم. Hey, look, نعم أحسنت. Okay, so this is similarity. They both have action, or they both give the meaning of an action. This is why a masdar is a masdar. This is why masdar is a special noun, verbal noun. It gives the meaning of a verb. Type. The next question then is اذكر فعلا ومصدره. يلا بسم الله. Give me a verb and its masdar. And we can learn from that. We can compare those things. Okay. اذكر فعلا ومصدره. اذكر فعلا ومصدره. أعرض إعراض. نعم. دارس. لا, دارس مدارسة. لا لا لا, دارس. نعم, دارس مدارسة. أحسنت. علم ما في راد الشدة تعليما. كتب وكتاب. لا لا, كتاب is not مصدر. كتاب is not مصدر. كتب كتابة, not كتابا. Okay. نعم, كتب كتابة. يعلم تعليما. Okay. أحسنتم. So ما شاء الله, you guys have a good background, mashallah, tabarakallah. So we have that. We have these masadir, qara'a, qira'atan. Now, if we look at all of these words, we can see that every single masdar, it gives you the meaning of an action. Qira'atan, the act of reading. Ta'liman, the act of teaching. Huh? We have khurujan, the act of leaving. Khuruj. صح? But the difference between a masdar and a fi'l is that fi'l has something extra. Fi'l also has the meaning of time. It gives you a tense. So if you take the masdar and now you want to communicate that this action has actually happened already in the past, or that this action is happening now, or that this action is going to happen in the future, that's when you would take the masdar and turn into what? A fi'l. And this has immense benefits in terms of speaking and understanding. Because there are times where you want to talk about the action, but you don't want to connect it to a tense. So then you use something called an masdariya, which we'll talk about in the grammar challenge, whereby you can take a verb and kind of turn it into a verbal noun. Okay? So, for example, you can say something like أحب أن أدرس اللغة العربية. I love to teach Arabic. Now, I still have the verb أدرس, but I turn it into a noun. Why? Because you can't really love a verb. You can only love nouns. Only nouns can be مفعول به. Again, a topic for another day. That's challenge. That's the grammar challenge. طيب? But the reason I wanted to teach you this right now is why? لماذا? Is because Allah يحفظكم, that's what the grammar, the vocabulary words are about. Is about knowing the masdar for every single fi'l that you know from بين يديك. بين يديك didn't give that to you, but hopefully this challenge will give that to you, whereby you have the masdar for every fi'l that you've learned. طيب? So that's one thing. Another dictionary word that we can think of is what? There are other ones actually, by the way. These are not the only. Um, there are other words that are mushtaq as well. There are other words that can be taken from a verb, such as ism fa'il, ism maf'ul, but these words you don't memorize. I'm just going to give you the words here that you actually memorize. There are words that you can create or conjugate yourself, just like we did with the ta marbuta. If you know what ta marbuta does, then I don't need to teach you zoj and zoja separately. Learn, memorize zoj, and you can make zoja yourself. So when it comes to ism fa'il, ism maf'ul, and all these other words that are derived from the verb, you don't need to memorize them as dictionary words. Why? Because you instead you should focus on getting the ability or the skill to take a verb and turn it into ism fa'il. Okay, I've got shariba, and let me turn it into sharib, someone who's drinking. I've got darasa, let me turn it into daris. Okay, how about the thing that's been studied, madrus, and so on and so forth. You can actually do this with practice. But one of the things, this the scholars they mentioned that the verbal noun, the masdar, the reason we add it as a dictionary word is because you'll find them in the dictionary. Why do you find them in the dictionary? Because these are words that you have to memorize. So, for example, we have the verb kataba. Kataba has the wazn of fa'ala, kataba, and the masdar is kitabatan. Okay, now if I take another verb that is similar, like qatala, in terms of the way it's made up, the actual wazn, does that mean I can now say qitalatan? No, that's not what we say. We say qatlan. So how do you know that? You have to memorize it. When I say memorize, I don't mean sit in front of a long piece of paper and just what I mean is you need to be exposed to it. You need to practice. You need to have these flashcards. You need to, you know, write it and so on and so forth. Okay. So again, the dictionary words that we want to memorize are three things. Three things I feel like if you're going to learn a verb, you have to memorize these three things. The madi, the past tense, the mudari, the present tense, and the masdar, the verbal noun. And the reason you have to memorize these three is why? Is because, who can tell me? Bismillah. Let me see if you guys are paying attention. Why memorize these three only? Because again, these three are not the only ones. They're not the only words we can derive from a verb or that are connected to a verb. But why memorize those three in particular? Who knows the reasoning behind that? Now, all of these answers are correct. They are the base, they're the asal, okay? So you can conjugate easily. From them, the rest can be derived, okay? But there's also one important reason that nobody's mentioning, because they are tenses. Let me see if I keep up with this. Because the rest you can make using rules. We can learn patterns for other words too. Ah, what? No, no, I don't know. You're close, but I don't know what you mean by timing. Why memorize these three? Barakallah fikum. Nobody really gave me the direct answer. You kind of gave me the answer from which I can derive your answer, but we don't do no derivation right now. We leave derivation when we're doing sarf. I wanted the straight answer. Barakallah fiq. Naam. Sometimes they don't follow a pattern. No, not sometimes. I mean, yeah, most of the times, really. Most of the times they don't follow a pattern, but you're very close. Yeah, okay. So basically, because these three things, this answer is really the closest one. Sometimes they don't follow a pattern. I would say they don't follow a pattern actually, for the most part. For the most part, sometimes they have a pattern, but for the most part, they don't. So that's why they need to be memorized. Things that don't follow a pattern, you have to memorize them. It's not the choice. واضح? So that's why we memorize these three. Okay, because they don't have a pattern. Okay, if you don't memorize them now, then when you want to actually use them in real life, what's gonna happen? Barakallah fiikum, you're gonna be stuck. You're gonna be stuck. You've learned in Arabic language, while you're learning the language, you've learned about the word. Let's say you've learned about the word. Let me find a nice and difficult word. Give me a difficult verb. Bismillah. Let's say شجع. شجع means to support or to motivate or whatever. صح? Now let's say you want to say I support my brothers and sisters, or let's not support. Let's say um because that would be different. شجع actually. شجع means not to support. It's the kind of support when you support a football club. That's called تشجع, right? Let's say for example you want to say um give me a verb. Come on, I'm blank. جاهد. No, everybody knows that one. Huh? Let's say you want to say, for example, let's say شجع لا بأس شجع. Okay, let's say you want to say that you support a certain football team, right? Okay. Now you know the verb شجع. شجع يشجع. Okay, great. But now you want to say I love to support, let's say my family, right? I love to support whatever football team, right? Ahli, they call it Ahli, means actually family. It's one of the football teams here in Saudi. Let's say you want to say I support Ahli. Yes, you would say, you can't say أنا أحب or أنا أحب أشجع أهلي. لا, you have to use the noun because a verb can't be مفعول به. You can't love a verb, but you can love the action that verb, the action that it means. So then you'd have to use تشجيع. But if you don't know how to say تشجيع, what are you going to do? ماذا تفعل؟ أنا أحب شجاعة. شجاعة means courageous. What are you talking about? Oh no, شجع, it's not شجع, شجاعة. You're gonna be stuck. You're gonna, you know, not know how to communicate. So again, and also another reason why you have to memorize these things is because there's a lot of overlap. There's a lot of these masadir. Yes, they're very similar the way they look like, but they've got way different meanings. Way different meanings. عرفت كيف؟ طيب. طيب. Enough on that. I'm kind of like filling in the time. Come to dictionary words, we might actually practice them because they're not ready. So I'm kind of filling in the time with explanation. I don't know if any of you noticed it, right? But بإذن الله الكريم, We'll have those words ready tomorrow so we can practice them, inshallah. So these are dictionary words. Then we got supplementary words. Now the supplementary words, that's what they are. They are supplementary. They are what? Supplementary. Which means if you want to memorize them, memorize them. You know, um, if you have time, do them. واضح? And these are taken from, like I said, بين يديك, the themes at the back of the book. So there are two themes that I believe are connected to personal identity, which are jobs and personal identity. Now, jobs, I was again very close to occupation anyway, but in the book they call them jobs, right? So we have something like sabak, bakkal, someone who works in a supermarket. Sabak is a plumber. Kahrabai, electrician. Halaq is a barber. Banna is a builder. Sa'iq is a driver. Tabbakh is a chef. وهكذا. Okay, so these are words, interesting words you can learn. You're going to find them, of course, as flashcards on the portal. And then personal identity, again, a lot of things are part of personal identity, which, and I think these themed words that they've added to Beni Yedek, they are these kind of words which you use quite frequently, but a lot of people they overlook. Like you have طول, length. Dhakar means male. It's the opposite of untha, right? Then we have lugha, inwan, which means address, umr, which means age, jins, which means gender, mihna, occupation. Okay, so these are the words that we have for what? Personal identity type. ممتاز. Some grammar. Let's do some grammar practice. Okay, let's do some grammar practice, and then we'll also do some practice with the supplementary words. But let's start with some grammar practice. Let's start with some practice on verbs and nouns, dictionary words, basically. We're going to do some practice and then be done, inshallah. So I'm going to give you a noun, barakallah fikum. I want you to tell me which verb it has been taken from. واضح؟ طيب أنتم معي؟ Okay. Bismillah. Let me see what noun I can find for you guys. Okay. Okay, these are not particularly Beni Dake words. They're not ready. Use them on top of my head, okay? Go back to clap. What verb is this noun taken from? Let's say ركوع. Rak'ah. Okay, that was an easy one. Okay, mumtaz. All right, another one. That was an easy one. Rak'ah was an easy one. All right, how about this one? How about this one? Sleem. Sleem. Make sure you add the shadda if he has a shadda. If he has a shadda, add it because it makes a big difference. نعم. سلم يسلم تسليما. Okay, that's another easy one. Okay. Okay, how about this one? How about this one? Islam. How about Islam? What verb is Islam taken from? Okay, some of you said salam. Ha! Got you. Big mistake. First and foremost, salam's not even a verb, number one. It's an actual noun. And Islam is not taken from salam. A lot of people they say that. That's wrong. Islam is taken from the word aslama, which means to submit. No, Islam is not taken from istaslama. Another mistake. I saw that one coming as well. Istaslama. Istaslama istislaman. Islam is not taken from istaslama. Okay, which means to istaslam means to kind of like give up as well, but it also means to submit. But here, this one in particular is taken from aslama. Aslama yuslimu islaman. And then istaslama yastaslimu istislaman. Sallama yusallimu tasliman. And so on and so forth. Again, a lot of practice needed there, inshallah ta'ala. That was just an idea, barakallah feekum, of what's involved when it comes to learning these words. واضح? That's an idea of what's involved, inshallah, that you're going to be able to do on the portal in order to perfect these words, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, now I'm going to ask you some personal identity questions. I want you to answer. Let's see if you manage to answer properly, okay? So we have all these things. So I'm going to say, question is, كم طولك؟ كم طولك؟ When are we going to end? We're ending literally in 3 minutes. Aywa. We started like 5 minutes late, so that's why. So we'll be done in 3 minutes. طول, what's your height? نعم. But answer it in Arabic. طولي 180. نعم. Centimeter أحسنت. Centi. They call it centi actually here. Centi. طيب. طيب ما مهنتك? That's the next question. ما مهنتك؟ Let me type it. طولي 6 أقدام ما شاء الله. ما مهنتك or مهنتك for the sisters. مبرمع. I think you mean مبرمج. أيوة. طالبة. طالب في الكوليج. تكنولوجيا. لا أعمل الحمد لله. نعم. أحسنت. طيب أنا مدرس. أنا مهنتي، نعم you can say that as well. مهنتي، نعم أحسنت. طيب بارك الله فيكم. Okay. And so on and so forth يعني. This is not really what's it called, vocabulary practice anyway, but we'll get to the vocabulary practice inshallah ta'ala. You can do that on the portal. Kind of done with explaining what I needed to explain. Allah yahfadkum jami'an. I think I made whatever announcements I needed to make. I told you guys about you guys probably were not here, but yeah, the WhatsApp groups. The WhatsApp groups, I've added them all to the community. Community now is full. I couldn't even add some of the groups. So those of you that are watching this, if you're not feeling this or you don't want to partake in the groups or the likes, then make space for others, inshallah. Also, when it comes to the groups, I've left the groups open. We're going to have some moderators on them. But I say this. If you feel distracted by the groups, leave the group. Leave the group or mute it. WhatsApp's got a mute button, by the way. You can mute groups, in case you didn't know. Go to the group, keep pressing it, and then mute all notifications. Nothing important by us will be exclusively sent on the groups. I did not segregate the groups according to level and the likes, just according to gender and region. So on the group, if you have questions, ask on the group, whatever. If you feel distracted, leave it, as long as you follow the channel and the community announcements group. The community announcements group, you can't even leave that one. As long as you're in the community, you'll get all of the announcements, inshallah. Someone said, if I leave the group, do I miss any information? No, not from me at least. but you can go on the group to ask questions or whatever, maybe to whatever you need to do basically. Okay. Do you have Quizlet for level two? We have Quizlet for all three levels, one, two, and three. Links will be sent on the channel or the community, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. When it comes to the groups, we thought of kinda keeping the groups on tabs, sharing some stuff on the groups and stuff, but it beats the purpose. If the group is for you guys engaging each other, then engage with each other. We leave the door open as long as you follow the three rules, which is number one, stay on point, don't leave the topic. Number two, make sure you respect everyone, and number three, don't promote anything or anyone. As long as you stick to those three rules, mashallah, you guys can engage and communicate as much as you like. Yeah, the community didn't have activity because it was closed, but now it's not. I think the best use of the group is to ask questions to gain support. If you're stuck, if you need something, because honestly, we can't keep up. The admin team can't keep up with the requests and the questions. And my main admin member or the support member actually had to travel emergency wise. So there's a lot of questions that you guys are sending in and help that you need that is kind of can't be dealt with in time. So I advise you to ask on the group. And I'm sure some of the other students will be able to help you. So again, the purpose of the groups going forward is to gain support, inshallah, to get support and to give support. May Allah Ta'ala reward all of you that do so. Mute the group so that you don't get distracted. Any important announcements will be made on the community announcements group, inshallah. Is Instagram channel a must to attend? Where to get notices? You mean WhatsApp channel? Yeah, the channel, I mean, that's where we send notices, either on my Telegram channel or WhatsApp channel or WhatsApp community. So if people can share the WhatsApp channel link, Jazakumullah khair, or if you can share the Telegram link, would be appreciated. I'll do the Telegram link. Someone can share the WhatsApp link, would be good. This is a Telegram link, inshallah. So if you want to join Telegram, then that's the link. Channel. That's the specific channel for what? That's the specific channel for the course. I need to change the name actually to Arabic thingy. Okay, that's the Telegram channel for the course. Okay. Actually, 1 minute. Don't use that channel link. I'm going to change the name. Should I keep it the same? No, I'll keep it the same. Who cares? I'm not going to change the link. Okay, use that link for the. Actually, I'm going to give you another link. Actually, use this link actually. Edit, white links, create new link. Everyone, use that link for Telegram. Use that link for Telegram, inshallah. We also have a WhatsApp link as well, the WhatsApp channel. The channel, someone can share the channel link, that would be great as well. That's where we send notices. Those two channels, and in the community as well. But we don't send it inside of the groups. Will we memorize vocabulary without case endings? Well, yes and no. Yes and no. No, as in case endings, that is grammar related. Okay. But if you mean with case endings, the actual harakat that come before the last letter, then yes, it's part of the vocabulary. So, مثلا the word muslimun. Up to muslim, that's part of the word. If you say Muslim, is a different word. Okay, Muslim. But Muslimun, the un at the end, nah, you don't memorize that. That's grammar. It could be Muslimun, sometimes it's Muslimin, and sometimes it's Musliman. How do we know? That depends on grammar. طيب? So the dictionary words are not completed yet. Is there any work material available for level 3 today? Yes. The level 2 words are part of level 3. واضح? So you can do the level 2. All of the level 2 exercises are suitable for level 3. Okay? Especially the definitions. Now the opposites and the synonyms, they are going to increase for level 3 more because they have extra words. Right? But the actual core words, the actual curriculum words, you can practice the level 2 words as well. Okay? And then we're going to add the dictionary words to it tomorrow, bismillah. Can we use Quizlet app on mobile? Yes, you can. How to find the level 2 practice on mobile app? You need to use the link I just shared, which I will share again on the channels. I'll share those links on the respective channels, Telegram and WhatsApp, inshallah ta'ala. Okay? Level 3 Quizlet link is not ready. Level 3 Quizlet link, level 1 and 2 is ready. Level 3 will be ready tomorrow. Okay? For the reasons I've explained because of the electricity issues in Egypt. Okay? طيب حياكم الله. هذا والله أعلم. صلى الله وسلم على نبينا Muhammad. I thank you all for joining. Once again, please don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, help with the spread of the khair, share the link with family and friends. I look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow. Keep an eye on the channels. All instructions will be sent there. If you need support, I think right now the best place to get support is on the WhatsApp groups for now. And we will get back to you as well, inshallah ta'ala, sometime tomorrow. طيب حياكم الله وبياكم. هذا والله أعلم. صلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. حياكم الله.